All right, guys, so we're going to get started. So welcome, thank you for joining, and welcome to Making Tax Season Easier for Real Estate Lawyers. It's being presented by Easysoft and InfoTrack. And so just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we'll be covering today. So we're going to cover how Easysoft and InfoTrack can help you seamlessly file 1099-S forms, how it can help you eliminate year-end tax frustration. We'll show you how our abilities can help you cut down crucial staff time, and also how InfoTrack and Easysoft integrate with each other to give you a more seamless experience. So a little about us first. Easysoft is we specialize in helping real estate companies and title agents simplify their closings. Our software offers revolutionary document automation and streamlines the closing process. It eliminates risks and it takes away a lot of repetitive tasks. If you have more questions afterwards or want to send an email, the contact information is right on the screen. And so now a little about InfoTrack, and we're a subscription-free legal workflow solution that provides numerous benefits to commercial and residential real estate attorneys. And again, if you have any questions afterwards, we'll be taking questions, but also contact information is also right here on the screen right now. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Joey Har of Easysoft to go over how they can help you with your 1099-S forms.
Good. Thank you very much. Most of you, I believe, are familiar with EZCDF, which is one of Easysoft's flagship programs, but in case you're not, I'm going to go really quickly through it. EZCDF stands for Easy Closing Disclosure Forms. It's a pretty straightforward, quick system. You go in and the main page, the closing disclosure section, is laid out into 5 tabs, just like the 5 pages of the closing disclosure. On the first tab, you put in your contact information and your loan terms, and loan details go further down on that page. Page 2 is a series of different fees, services buyer shop for, etc., that you put in as your loan costs. It's laid out in as easy to understand a format as we could arrange, using a kind of Excel-like spreadsheet. Page 3 is cash to close calculations laid out by the CFPB. At the top, it calculates what's called quote-unquote cash to close, and at the bottom, it's cash to or from the borrower. Ideally, these numbers should match, and if you're familiar with the HUD, this is essentially the same as page 1, so it's pretty easy to work through. Pages 4 and 5 are mostly just text blocks. You check off what you need, check which applies. It's filled out by the attorney, and it's about this last step before bringing this to the table. Once everything is done on this closing, all the paperwork's been signed, and the buyer and seller have shaken hands and everything's done, it's time to go back to your office and send out those 1099s. Now, some systems do that at the end of the year, or technically the start of tax season. But with Easysoft systems, you can do it throughout the year. InfoTrack helps us hold on to the data as you submit it, and we send it all off to the IRS at the appointed time. So in this case, I'm going to take Glenn Cooper and Jenny Cooper, and we're going to go over to our 1099 section and put in their information to send out their 1099s. All right, so this is my 1099 page. Most of the information, as you can see, is already pre-filled straight off of my closing disclosure. The only thing that needs to be put in is the tax IDs for the seller and their forwarding addresses if you haven't already prepared that information. You can see I've got one filled out here already. I'm going to go ahead and add Jenny Cooper, my second seller. Gives me a little pop-up. And there we go. I'm going to skip over the seller's address, or the seller's forwarding address in this case, but we do suggest always putting that in so that InfoTrack will have that information, be able to get a physical copy out to the sellers. Now, there are 2 sellers here, so I need to adjust my gross allocations appropriately. The first seller and the second seller getting equal, so that's a 50% split. So I changed my state accidentally. I'm going to fix that. All right. So I've got my sellers entered. I've got my own information entered. My filer information is up to date. Yes. So I'm ready to submit. I hit submit 1099S. 1099S will be saved. Yes. And then I have my tax ID. I put in my password. Hit submit, and I'm done. The information is sent off. I can do this in the middle of May, whenever I want. Data goes out. The 1099s are then submitted to the IRS and to the client at the start of tax season so that they get a physical copy in the mail just in time. All right. So that's kind of the basics of it from the Easysoft perspective, but Infotrac has a lot more to offer than just some back-end handling of your data. So I'm going to hand it back over to Beck, and she'll be able to go into more detail.
Thanks, Joey. Sorry about the noise feedback there. So I'm Beck. I am the Client Success Manager here at Infotrac in our New York office. You'll notice just on the screen here, I've got my contact details. So again, if you've got any questions after the webinar, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to assist in any way. But today I'm just going to go through how Infotrac does integrate with the Easysoft program and how we can help you streamline your processes for real estate matters. But before I get into that, I'm just going to give a quick brief history of Infotrac. So we actually started out back in March 2012, and we started in Australia. So that actually explains my accent. And what we did was we provided searches and services mainly to conveyancers and real estate attorneys. From there, we actually grew quite rapidly within the past 5 years, and we've now branched out into just general legal, banking and finance, government, and much more. So then coming along to July 2015, we started our global expansion, opening the doors to our UK office in Waterloo, London, where we primarily started out the same as Australia, and now they're branching into the corporate and personal searching side of things. And then just more recently, we opened our US doors here in May 2016 last year. So part of that startup was we acquired the 1099 from Easysoft, and as Joey mentioned, we just took on the back end side of things and the front end stayed the same. And from there we've expanded our suite of service offering, which I will go through shortly. So just before I get to that, I'll just give you a brief overview of who Infotrac are, what we do. So we are a web-based platform that allows you to access many different types of searches and services, both locally and internationally, without subscription costs and charged in a way that you can pass on to your client as a disbursement. So our goal is to save you, the user, time by giving you access to all the key services you use on a regular basis from the one location, eliminating the need to go to various different websites and have a number of different logins for each. We also aim to keep all our screens user-friendly with the same look and feel, so you're not having to learn your way around a number of different websites. And lastly, we try to keep costs down for you by offering our services on a pay-per-transaction basis and free of subscriptions. So in saying all that now, I'm going to go and open up Easysoft. So as Joey has mentioned, we do handle the back end of the 1099S filings. So if you are interested in getting set up to start filing through Easysoft, I'll touch on how you can do that at the end of the webinar. But just also to reiterate what Joey said, you can actually file your 1099s throughout the year. So if you're doing high volumes, it saves plenty of time if you can actually put them through after each closing. Also, as mentioned, we will send a physical copy to the seller on your behalf at the end of the tax season, which is fast approaching. And finally, from there, of course, we will pass them on to the IRS on your behalf. So basically, you can come in, submit, and forget about it. But going from there, I'll now show you how InfoTrack further integrates with the Easysoft program. So you'll notice now you've got this InfoTrack tab at the top toolbar here. So when I click on that one and select New Order, it launches me into the InfoTrack page. At the top here are what we call quick links, and it's just an easy way to access all those services we currently have available. So you'll notice here under property that we offer title reports. So we actually offer various different reports. We've got 4 different ones under this tab. So starting with a very basic deeds on a property and going right through to the chain of title. And we do cover all 50 states and majority of counties. Going across, you'll see under Secretary of State that we offer UCC searching and filing. And you can also do a lookup on company reports through here as well. So a big advantage with InfoTrack is we, again, cover all 50 states. So you're not having to jump around to each of the different Secretary of State websites to gather that information. And then moving across here, we can provide LLC and incorporation services. So you can actually form an LLC or an incorporation with InfoTrack. So today I'm actually going to take you through how this works. So just by clicking that one there, it's going to direct me to this form. So as mentioned, we can assist you with forming an LLC, an incorporation, or we do also offer a series LLC for the states that will accept it. Again, just like with all our services, we cover all 50 states, but I'm going to choose New Jersey for today's demonstration. From there, you're just going to put in your business name preference. So I'm just going to use InfoTrack as an example. And then right from the same screen, you can check for the existence of this name either in New Jersey, the chosen state, or you can do all 50 states. So by clicking on that, it just gives me a heads up on if that name's going to be accepted. If it looks like there's other businesses with similar names, you might want to put a second and third choice in. Scrolling down, you'll just want to fill in the manager's details here. And then moving down to the registered agent. So you'll notice that we can provide you with a registered agent service. So we can actually act as the agent on your behalf. Otherwise, you can just select other and put in your own details there. Scrolling down, enter in a description of business, the terms if they're not perpetual. And here you'll see that we can offer a corporate kit. So again, offering all the services you need for the formation all from the one screen, so not going around to different providers, different websites having to get this. We offer 2 different kits, so we've got the Black Beauty or the Spartan. The Black Beauty is just the more premium option, and then the Spartan's a little bit cheaper. Going across to the question mark here, it'll actually give you a description of what is included in the corporate kit, and also you can see a visual representation. So you'll just select which one you want, and then you can also choose where you want it sent, if you want it to go to the manager of the LLC, or you might want it sent to yourself so you can pass it along. And then finally, you can also create the tax ID all at the same time. So there's 2 options here. You can simply just upload a signed SS4 form, or we've actually simplified the process for you. So you can actually send off a pre-filled SS4 form to your client, have them electronically sign it, and then we'll create the tax ID from there. So all you'd have to do is enter in their email, check off the questions here. That's going to pre-fill the form once you select order, go off to your client, and they'll electronically sign it from there. And then lastly, down the bottom, you'll see here we've got a fee displayed on the screen for you. So that fee there is including the filing with the state, the corporate kit, and the tax ID. And just with all our services on InfoTrack, we'll always display that fee on the screen for you, so you always know how much it's going to cost before you actually go ahead and order anything. And also, you've just got a turnaround time, so you know when to expect it back. So once you actually do go ahead and order it, and we've filed it with the state and the documents have come back, you're going to get an email to notify you to let you know that it's complete with the proof of filing. But just jumping back into Easysoft, it's also going to save down here in your integrated documents tab. So this is new with the latest update with Easysoft. So if you haven't updated your Easysoft CDF, I suggest running that update so you get this tab. And we also provide from the drop-down up here to a fee summary. So anything you actually order under the particular file you're working on, the cost will be captured on the fee summary, and you can come in and print that off and include that with your invoice to your client. Because as previously mentioned, all services offered through InfoTrack are completely disposable. And then just lastly, before finishing off, again, I'll jump back into Easysoft. So I mentioned if you want to sign up to use the 1099-S filing with InfoTrack or any of our additional services, again, coming up to this drop-down, you can just choose this sign-up form. It's a simple electronic form. You create a username and password. That password you'll use to do your 1099-S filings. But if you have any questions in regards to that, as I said, just reach out. But for now, I'll throw it back to Eric for if anyone wants to send any questions through for us to answer now.
All right, thanks, Beck. So first question, we have one question here from Jay Lundy, and that is, what is the fee that is charged per 1099 submission?
Thanks, Eric. So the answer to that question is it's $10 per filing, but remembering that that covers off, we will send a copy to the seller for you, and of course that you can file them throughout the year, and we'll handle the rest from there.
All right, guys, do we have any other questions today based on that presentation?
Remember to type into the questions box on your GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar sidebar. As you're muted, we won't be able to hear your microphone, but if you type in there, we'll be able to see what your question is and be happy to answer it. Easysoft is also standing by if you have any questions about the Easysoft side of things.
All right, well, if that's all, thank you all for coming out. We'll be sending a full copy of this if you joined late or would like to, actually, hold on one second. If there's a mistake and we have to redo the 1099, is there an option for that?
So once you actually submit the 1099, so I'll go ahead and do that as an example. Sorry, there's a little mistake there, which is actually a good one. So if you have missed any information, we will prompt you to let you know. So I've submitted it, I've got a copy, you can print it off for your own records. You'll notice that the screen grays out, so you know that you've actually submitted that one. But if you do find that you've made a mistake, maybe you've put the wrong tax ID or you've entered the wrong gross allocation, you'll notice that you've got this undo submit button now. So you'd actually just click that one, undo the submission, which will actually refund the fee, so you're not getting charged twice. Make any adjustments you need to make, and then you'll just go ahead.
All right, hope that clears that up. And do we have any other questions? Is there a way I can see what forms I filed?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll also notice that we've got the submission report here. So you'll just tick that, click that one. You can enter in if you want to search for a certain period of dates. So you might be wondering if you remembered to file for a particular closing that occurred in a particular month, and then you'll just hit show and it'll list all the forms that were filed within that period of duration.
Thank you, Beck. Do we have anything else? All right, well, thanks for joining us today, guys. As I said earlier, we'll be sending around a copy to everyone in case you joined late, and we'll be sending one to everyone who didn't join, and we will be in touch with you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great one.